Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.
There is no amen to the dream. Even if it's about you getting whatever, you cannot say amen to such a dream until it has come to your level of understanding. It has to be brought to your level of understanding. That dream must be unlocked, brought to your level of comprehension, and you can say, I agree. If it's a job promised in the dream, you can say, I agree. Okay? If it's a baby promised in that dream, then you can say, I agree, after having gotten full understanding of the meaning. There is no amen to the dream. If there is no amen to the tongue, there is no amen to the dream. Are you following? Yes. So dreams, they come to us and they are so confusing because God is trying to protect, to secure the dream. The same way Jesus would speak in parables. Whilst he was here, he continues doing so in dreams. Dreams are coming in parable form, waiting for you to interpret. What is the meaning of this dream? Most interpretations, in as much as the dreams are right, but most interpretations are wrong. Do you know that when the butler and the baker had their dreams, when they declared their dreams to Joseph, they thought that it means there was once a discussion before Joseph arrived. That's why they said to Joseph, we both had a dream, not dreams. So in the original writing of that text, they actually said, we had a dream.
Verse 5, Genesis 40. And they dreamed a dream, both of them.
And they
dreamed a dream,
keep
both
reading.
of them, each man his dream in one night.
Each man, they dreamed a dream, both of them. Both of them dreaming a dream, not dreams, a dream.
And then verse 8.
Then each
man his dream in one night. Then
each
verse
man
8.
his dream in one night, yes.
And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream.
Okay, now let's go back, because Joseph is going to ask them, why are you sad today? Why is it today you are not happy? I want to interpret something here. Joseph is coming to them and he finds out that they are not happy, and he says,
Verse 7.
Why are you sad today?
And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream.
So what are they giving? The reason behind their sadness. Why are you sad today? And they said what?
We have dreamed a dream.
We, both of us, have dreamed dreams. A dream. And the reason why we are sad is,
and there is no interpreter of it.
so what's the revelation? An uninterpreted dream causes sadness. You can never be happy in life. No matter how many dreams you dream, there is no joy, there is no pleasure, there is no success, there is no victory in any dream. The victory lies in the interpretation, the freedom lies in the interpretation of the dream of freedom. They were sad. Unlike most of you people, you wake up, you have a dream, there's no interpretation, and you are excited. These guys had an understanding of the importance of an interpretation. It's not enough for you to be a dreamer. Dreaming and there is no meaning to the dream, you rather be sad. Stay sad until an interpreter comes your way. Remain sad. That sadness is an expression of the desire for an interpretation. The hunger for I cannot have a dream and not have its interpretation and still be happy. They were sad. It is that sadness that will cause interpretation to gravitate towards you. That sadness. How can you have a normal day knowing that you have just had a dream that you cannot understand, that you have no interpretation to, and you go for a party? When you start taking interpretations of dreams seriously, the ability to interpret them will start to grow within you. The ability. We are sad because we have had a dream.
And there is no interpreter of it.
Of them.
It.
A dream. We have had a dream. And there is no interpreter of it. So it means these people, they had tried to interpret, they had shared their dreams, and they had tried to interpret their own dreams before the proper guy would bring a proper interpretation. So from their own interpretation, they'd agreed that this dream is one. Because there were some similarities there. 3 baskets and 3 branches. So they had to come up with some very simple interpretations to the dream. So it's one. And then Joseph comes and then he starts to interpret. From the 3 branches, he comes up with 3 days. From the 3 baskets, he again comes up with 3 days. Okay? Now, it takes the Spirit of God for you to to come up with days from 3 branches. Child of God, you can be educated all you want. But when it comes to interpretation of spiritual matters, it has nothing to do with your level of education. You have to rely on what the Spirit of God is saying. Your natural intellect cannot suffice the requirements or the demands of the Spirit. This I can guarantee, no matter how you try to logically look into these spiritual matters, you'll be more confused. Why? Because the dream is saying, if you were intelligent enough, there was no need for me as a dream. You should have thought of it. Why try to use your intellect on me, the dream? You were supposed to see it with your intellect, with your intelligence. There is no degree that you have done that can tell you what is going to happen to you tomorrow. So if I come as a dream and I'm telling you there is an event tomorrow, and you try to bring in your logic, if you could not see the tomorrow logically, why try to use your logic? Because this is an external aid. God is realizing that in as much as you are educated, you are blind to the future, to the tomorrow. So God brings in another source of information entirely divorced from your intellect. How can you find 3 days in 3 branches? If you try to use logic, you are going to tell this guy you are going to open 3 branches. You know, kings were serious in those days. You know, if you look into the history, the reason behind these people who got arrested, do you know it is because they found some grains of sand in the bread prepared by the baker for the king, and they had found a fly in the wine. That was the reason why they got arrested. Something as simple, there was a fly in the wine, and there was a grain of sand in the bread, and eventually the baker had to be hanged. And you think you can work for a king, and you call your husband my king. A man lost his life. Whether this was a setup, it's not known. But look at the crime, the size of the crime. Somebody had to be hanged because there was a grain of sand discovered in the bread. And Joseph said to the cupbearer, the butler, 3 days you shall be restored back into your office. You shall minister before the king again. And yet 3 days after that, there was a celebration. They were rejoicing in the palace because a child was born to the king that then died. Remember the story I told you? That child that then died 2 years later. Because the king was excited, they needed more wine. They said, okay, bring that guy. Bring him. That's how he got restored. And then Joseph said, but you, the baker, you shall be hanged in 3 days. So imagine both of you, you receive such an interpretation. And on the 3rd day, you are the baker. You see the generals coming, and your friend is taken out, and you see them handing over his uniform to him. You know what is following, right? The baker knew that he was dying that day. Joseph had an ability to not only interpret dreams, he had his own extra ability, power within him to speak things even outside of the dream that he is interpreting. He had power. Oh, he had power. How you treat the interpreter is key. How you treat the interpretation, even if the ability to interpret is your own ability, that ability is a personality. Know how to treat the interpreter inside of you. Do you know that history books say that when Pharaoh was told that Joseph can interpret by the butler, that we once had dreams whilst we were in prison, and there's a guy there who gave us an interpretation. Me, he promoted, he restored. Him, he hanged. Remember the story? Yes. And the king said, go and bring him out. In those history books, you hear exactly what Pharaoh said. Pharaoh said to the generals that went to collect Joseph, he said to them, go and bring him here, but do not harass him, lest you disturb him. And to me, that was so profound. Pharaoh knew that the way this guy is going to interpret can be affected by the way we treat him. If you don't bring him here properly, if you don't find a nicer way of bringing him here, he cannot deliver well. Spirits can be disturbed. That ability to interpret can be disturbed. So be careful how you bring him out of prison. Be careful.
You are valuable.
God has something to say. Listen. God has something to say. Listen, listen. Pay attention. For God has something to say.